take steps from within to secure our future. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor Barletta. We now move to the portion of our hearing where there will be questions from Senator Kennedy and myself, and we will limit our questioning rounds to 5 minutes. We have a very large second panel. Mayor Bloomberg, you heard Mayor Barletta describe problems of crime in his city, and obviously in New York City you could testify to many, many more such incidents in a city the size of New York. And it is understandable, as you've testified, about not wanting to report crime victims who may not be here illegally or people who are securing indispensable medical help. But what balance is there, and what role do you see, if any, for New York public officials, the police department, when finding immigrants who are the criminal element, charged with serious crimes with substantial evidence? What role do you see, if any, for reporting them to the immigration officials for deportation?
Well, I don't know what Hazleton, Pennsylvania's experience has been. Our experience in New York is that when you look at who commits crimes, yes, some crimes are committed by illegal immigrants, and lots of crimes are committed by people who are third or fourth generation Americans. That's just the truth of the matter. And I'm sympathetic to Mayor Barletta, but I think that the only ways we're going to solve the problem is to have the ID card that is non-forgeable, to ensure, to do exactly what he is doing in his city, hold employers meaningfully accountable so that they don't go and...
but when you apprehend someone who's charged with a crime with substantial evidence...
If you are arrested in New York City for a crime, we check your immigration status and do follow up with the INS. What we don't do is we don't check your immigration status if you show up at a hospital needing help, if you send your kid to school. The truth of the matter is, in New York City, and I think it's true nationally, 75% of all of the undocumented pay taxes, pay Social Security, and don't take any of the benefits.
Mayor Bloomberg, let me move back to Mayor Barletta. There's a limited amount of time here. Mayor Barletta, you talk about holding landlords responsible. Is that going to turn us into a nation of informants? How far should you go in identifying undocumented immigrants if they're seeking something which is lawful, or, as Mayor Bloomberg points out, getting medical care?
Well, in the city of Hazleton, the greatest asset we have, Senator Specter, is the quality of life. We are small town USA. People that live in Hazleton live there because they want their children to be able to play on the playgrounds. They don't want to be terrified by some of the high-profile crimes that we've seen in our city, mainly by people who do not belong in the country. We are going to relieve the burden from the landlords and take it upon the city to help them with the documentation. And I believe this is what cities such as Hazleton have to do. The debate that I've been following, both in the Senate and the House, addresses mainly our southern border and guest worker programs. And I could assure you the individuals that I talked about today aren't working anywhere. And they're not entering, I believe, not through the southern border.
Commissioner Sylvester, Johnson, what about the Philadephia Police Department, where you find someone who's charged with a crime with substantial evidence? Do you turn them over to INS where they're undocumented immigrants?
Yes, we do the same thing that New York does. But our concern is that people who are a victim of a crime, people who are witnesses of crime, and some of our best intelligence come from people in the immigrant community. I think once we start enforcing law to the point that the first thing we ask them, the person who's been victimized, are you, show me your green card before they show the fact that they've been victimized. You know, from the major city chief point, that's 56 police chiefs from throughout the entire nation. And in order to become a major city chief, you have to have a population of 500,000 and a department of 1,000. We debated this constantly, and we came with the conclusion that law enforcement took years and years to form a relationship with the immigrant community. Here in the city of Philadelphia, we have the Asian Commissioners Advisory Council. I have the African Advisory Council from other places. Once we start just enforcing immigration law, then we're going to lose that contact. We're going to lose that response to the immigrant community because they're not going to contact us. Nor will they contact us even if they have information about other people, about other violent type things, and even with national security. So we're very concerned about that. Our other concern was that if we did not follow this as Major City Chief, then our entire city would be punished from health departments. And, law enforcement by itself is never going to change the quality of life. That it really has to be a holistic type approach. The health department and other agencies in this city is about public security, public health. So again, as far as law enforcement is concerned, I said again, we had 380 homicides last year. We also had 1,800 shootings here in the city of Philadelphia. And I can't tell you less than 1% were illegal immigrants.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. One final question only after my red light is on. Mayor Bloomberg, if you did not have undocumented immigrants working in New York City in the hotels and the restaurants and the hospitals as domestics, what would the impact be on your city's economy?
It would be devastating for our city. We estimate there's 500,000 undocumented living in a city of 8.1 million people. A lot of them provide the elbow grease to make the traditional industries you've talked about, whether it is the tourism-related industries of transportation and food and beverage, or it's home health care, or it's providing a lot of the cleaning services and driving taxi cabs and those kinds of things. But the truth of the matter is our undocumented go all the way up the ladder into senior people at lots of different institutions. And it's just, without them, the city could not survive in the ways it is. We wouldn't have the tax base for those that need services, and we would not have the compassionate kinds of government that I think we've provided. I was listening to Mayor Barletta talk about the size of Hazleton. It reminded me that New York City may have 8.1 million people, but we have communities, hundreds of them, of the same size that Hazleton, Pennsylvania is, and our people want to be able to go out in their local communities to parks and to schools and on the streets and be safe. And in fact, they are safe, and we've been able to do that. And the reason we've done it is we have the world's greatest police department, no offense intended. He can have the second. But that's where the tax base comes from to provide that. The immigrant community in New York City has helped us. It hasn't hurt us. It is New York City's great strength rather than being a weakness.